All right, so Corey, first, thank you so much for writing the forward of the book. Was a pleasure to us, and everyone just got crazy. Oh, you got one there. All right, that's mine here. Pessoal, tudo bem? Fabio Erelim aqui com vocês, canal Educação Consciencial. E hoje a gente tem um vídeo bem legal, foi um bate-papo que eu fiz com o Corey Good sobre diversos assuntos. A gente falou sobre a indústria do entretenimento, os novos projetos, sobre o processo do despertar da consciência, né? Como essa comunidade do despertar espiritual age assim no mundo todo, cada um com a sua ótica, e também sobre o livro e o conteúdo, né, por trás do SOS Estão nos Levando. Então fiquem aí com o bate-papo com o Corey e espero que vocês gostem, tá bom? Até mais, gente! All right, so Corey, first, thank you so much for writing the forward of the book. Was a pleasure to us, and everyone just got crazy. Oh, you got one there. All right, that's mine here. I just ordered the English copy because it's in Portuguese and English, and I just got it, and it's I would say that it's better in English than in Portuguese. So I'm pretty happy with the content. So thank you very much.
Oh yeah, I was happy to, and I look forward to talking about the book more, and also, like you said, we haven't chatted in a while. I think the last time I saw you was when you were here shooting your documentary.
Yep.
Was it last summer?
It was yeah, I think it was the last quarter of last year. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hanging out with you again soon. But it looks like you've been busy, with the book and other things that you're doing. What else do you have going on?
Oh, we have a lot, and so we are doing events in Brazil, of course, and in this United States for the first time in Orlando. So we are doing an event there in late April, and we are going to Portugal. So we've been being very busy, and we launched the SOS they're taking us, and it's just great, the repercussion. So people are just getting the idea that we put on the book, that it's quite different of the narrative that you can find normally in basically all languages all over the world. And I know that you are the one that have the same narrative that we have in the book. So just to give people the perspective of the abduction. So and we are writing other books. So I'm actually writing 3 books right now, and we have ready 4 children books. So we are writing books for children as well, me and Lyle, and it's just a great project. So we've been busy. What about you?
Well, I've been, working a lot on, the games. Things have evolved quite a bit. Right now, people, even though we're in a recession, people are spending a lot of money on games and developing games right now. So, we've got a lot moving on the video games that I wish we could discuss, but I just can't. But among that is that we're kind of creating a new subgenre that you might be interested in the video game world. They have things called visual novels, visual novel games, and they range from everything that, you click through them to just read a story, or they're interactive in different ways. And you could very easily take the stuff that the 2 of you are working on and present it in that type of format. It's really popular in a few large countries, but I think print media is going through a revolution right now. But I'm definitely going to talk to you about that at a certain point. But some very exciting things going on. we're looking to, we've got 3 games that we're developing that are looking really kick-ass. One game that's 50% completed. We just need to raise a little bit of money to get it completed. And it's going to be a really cool game, Liberation of Mars. And then we have all of these graphic novel ideas that we've transitioned over into visual novels. So we have a lot of excitement, and we're working to do some, smaller budget, $5-8 million and under films that are going to correlate with each of these visual novels and video games. And there are several platforms that are very interested in that. There's quite a bit of changes happening in the entertainment world. So that's kind of what we've been hyper focused on. And then also, working at Ascension with Mike Wiskowski, getting Ascension Works TV, to grow bigger and bigger. And, he's done an amazing job. Debbie and the rest of our team have done a really good job. So, yeah, we've been up to quite a bit as well.
Well, that's great, and I think I'm positive that the gaming industry has so many disclosures, and it's just amazing to see how some games can tell some story that it seems like science fiction completely, but it's on the subconscious of people. So
You're right.
we can imagine children as far as 5-6 years old and playing those games and having that information, and we have just one side doing that right now. So it's great that you are doing that. So and it's so difficult. It's difficult to develop. It's difficult to have the money to do it, to have the finance to do it, because it's expensive stuff, right?
It is, and the universe has been very kind to us recently. From the very beginning, when I started releasing my information, I said, this information is here to change the mass consciousness. Even people that watched my shows and read my information and didn't believe it, they were approaching it as entertainment, it was still affecting them in the mass consciousness.
Yep.
We were doing it on a pretty small scale, even though millions and millions of people saw our shows and our movies. The video game, the latest metrics came out, the video game industry reaches 3.2 billion people on this planet. That's getting close to half. Yeah. And it morphs the music and film industry, the gaming industry morphs it, doubles it, triples it. It's much, much bigger. So it gives people like you and me and others that have similar missions an opportunity to reach a lot more people when you're delivering the information to them and the form of a game or fiction in different ways. Their personal beliefs don't come up against it. They don't just start arguing. No, that's not, the Bible says, or the Quran says, or this says, or that says. They just go with it, and the information flows, and they take it in as the story, and it has an effect on their consciousness. So, 3.2 billion people. If we can reach a significant group of them, then we can make some change.
Yeah, definitely. I just saw last week a friend of mine sent me a video of I'm not that into games anymore, but actually I should come back to that, because it's just crazy how the games are and the narratives. A friend of mine sent me a clip of a game. I don't remember the name, but it was the AI dominated the world. And doing clones and transferring consciousness to robots. And I was, what's going on?
Yeah, it's something that is very interesting to note, and you should consider this with your work and other people who do content creation in this community. I know for a 100% fact that Hollywood writers, producers come to the community. They go to events. I've met some of them at some of these big events, like some big name people in the industry. They come looking for ideas. They'll come and like sit in David Wilcock or somebody else's presentation and take notes and be like, damn, that's a great narrative for this or that, and or they watch videos, and that's something that goes on quite a bit. So, it's great for seeding disclosure out there in a way. They always twist it, but that's one of the reasons why it's a good idea to protect your content, and vigilant of it, because Hollywood for a long time has been sucking this community dry for ideas for their fictional movies and games. So this has been going on for a long time.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and well, I'm actually doing that documentary that you mentioned, of course, by myself, and I should release it this year. But it's almost the same format that you did before with David Wilcock, and actually you had 2 documentaries, right? And have you thought about doing like a fiction movie, like a sci-fi movie or a TV series, but on the fiction side, not documentary? Have you thought about that?
Yes, that's actually what we have in development. We have a live action television series that we have some pretty interesting names involved in, backing it, executive producers, and that sort of thing. And then the newest thing is that on each of our video games, I have over 20 video games, not including the visual novels, outlined, based on all of the stuff I've talked about. And so all of those are going to have films that are created in tandem with them, and they're going to be everything from science fiction, drama, to even a few horror films, because those reach a large people. So we're trying to get the information to pour like water into all of the different pores and subgenres to have an effect on the mass consciousness.
Yeah, that's great. I have so many ideas. I when I released the Planetary Intervention, the book, and I thought, hey, this could be a movie, this could be a TV series, and now with the SOS they're taking as the same thing. I said, hey, I can do a 10-year TV series from that. Has so many stories and the characters and everything.
The people that I'm working with in the entertainment industry said, I've got 10, 20 years of content easily. They've never seen anyone that had so much content and such fine detailed content. So yeah, I mean, the opportunities are opening up. There are big changes happening in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
We had some projects that looked like they were going to go through and would have already been in production and released with a major platform, and right as the deals were starting to, or not deals, but right as everything was starting to work out, a merger occurred, and everyone we worked with were laid off and moved on to other places. So we that type of thing is happening all over the place right now, with the streaming companies collapsing. A lot of the woke stuff has destroyed a lot of IPs, and the industry is really in flux right now. In the gaming industry and in the film industry, they're looking for new IPs, and the strongest new IPs could come from subculture and move into pop culture, and have an effect on the mass consciousness. So a lot of people that have stories like yours, there could be opportunity. I mean, right now, Hollywood has never been more open. Right now, just about all of the work being done is being done in the independent films,
Yeah.
and that type of thing. That's where the money's flowing, and that's where even big stars are kind of moving to do their work, because the industry is just really in a weird place right now.
Yeah, and I was thinking, I don't think I know another one in the disclosure community that that is doing what you're doing. So that's amazing. People think that, well, yes, it takes a lot of money. You have to talk to investors, you have to talk to producers. It's a lot of work, but if you think that you cannot do that with talking to Hollywood or talk to another I don't know, producer, you can do that on the YouTube channel. I don't know, like we're doing the documentary by ourselves. We are going to do a series, a YouTube series based on the SOS as well on our YouTube channel. So that's a start, right? We have to give the information different from the way that we are giving, not just on events, not just on lives, not just on the books, just target to the disclosure community, but we have to spread the message. People have to they have the urge to read about sci-fi. I think sci-fi is the #1 genre right now. I believe. I don't know if it's accurate, but people seem to like sci-fi more and more over the years. So we need to take advantage of that, and as you said, put the message behind a sci-fi movie, like take a real story and put a romance on it, like put a story and build characters, as we did on SOS and planetary intervention and some other things that we're working on. So I believe we can do much more, even if we were not investing together with Hollywood or some other big producers. What do you think?
Well, if you don't do it, one of these Hollywood scavengers will, because a lot of these guys have a lot of talent, but they're not creative. I mean, some of the people I worked with, they had a lot of talent, but they had they were no creatives. So they go mining around for information. So somebody may come and take your idea and do it anyway. That's one of the main things. But when it comes to the entertainment industry, you have to, you're going to hear no a lot. You're going to have failures a lot. If you're the type of person that collapses and has a breakdown every time there's a failure, don't even really get involved. But if you're one of those people that perseveres, sees failure as an education, and allows you to move on the next time and not make that mistake, and then you will persevere. But you have to be ready for 3-5 years of trying to pitch and sell your information to get it to before it starts getting attention and picked up. And that's no matter who you are. I mean, I had millions of people watching my shows and my films, but when I moved into the film industry, it was everyone has to go through the same gauntlet. So it is not for the faint of heart. As I've joked around, I'm joking but serious. I've run into a lot more corruption and people doing black magic and all kinds of horrible, evil stuff to you, backstabbing within the UFO community than I have in Hollywood so far. But I think what's happened is I've learned a lot from the opportunists and kind of messed up people in this community that made our life so hell, to where we gained a lot of wisdom moving into the entertainment industry. Because when you were here last, I was like losing all my hair. It was all falling out from all the stress. And it's all I mean, I still have areas where it's growing back in, but everywhere it's growing back in is growing in white. And I just kind of take that to signify, to represent the all of the wisdom I've gained over the last 5 to 8 years, you know, from my experiences in this wacky community.
Yeah, and we are actually me, Lyle, and other friends. We're actually going through a very similar process. It's and we talk among ourselves, and I talk on lives on our channel, saying that I never encounter a community so crazy. I don't know. People are just throwing things at each other and doing, as you said, black magic and other stuff that I never imagined before entering that community. I never imagined it existed. It even existed. So when I work for big enterprises, and I used to joke when I work at the Matrix, right? Yeah. I always thought, hey, I cannot see the day that I can get out of here, because this is just the jungle. This is crazy. People are trying to get some other people jobs. And when I left the company, I said, oh, what a relief. Now I'm going to join the spiritual community, and everyone's just kumbaya and just and just so awakened, and people are going to help each other, and we are going to grow together. Oh my God, so naive.
I suffer from that same naivete. Yeah, it's crazy. I have met some of the most beautiful, heartfelt people in this community, and about 60, sadly, only about 60%, maybe up to 60% of the people are the really good-hearted people.
Yep.
40% are people that, God bless them, are mentally ill or opportunists, and they've screwed everything up for everyone else. And I know we've spoken. I thought, you know, I'm like, Fabio, is this an American phenomenon? Is it only happening in America, where all of the light workers are stabbing each other in the back and tearing each other down and stealing each other's work and twisting it and all of that? You're like, oh no, it's happening down here too. And I'm like, you know, so it's
global.
Yeah, humans are humans, you know, no matter what the mask they wear.
Yeah, it's just insane. In those 40% that you said, that there are, it's like a bunch of different people, and there's this small amount of people that they don't have bad intentions, but they're so convicted of their beliefs. They are not open to listen to anything new. But sorry?
Their truth.
Yeah, their truth. Yeah, of course. And just and they're not open to listen to something new, even for questioning. But that's not the worst problem. The worst problem is they go to your channel just to badmouth you, just to try to defend their idea. And I was thinking, this is just, I'm not going to their house. I'm not going to their profile on the internet and say, hey, you have to believe me. So it's just a daily process to motivate ourselves. I'm sure you go through the same thing. You have to motivate yourself every day to continue to do this work, right, Corey?
Well, well, things have morphed into such a way to where, you know, the community is compromised. I'm not really working in the community anymore. I'm doing my work on Ascension Words TV, working with a few people like you, James Gilliland, and maybe a couple of others. but I'm focusing all of my intent on Ascension Works TV and building out these games and films and bringing my original mission to a bigger level. And I thought this Love and Light community was going to be the place to springboard everything, to shine a light, to bring everybody, millions more people to the community. But now I'm going to be doing a documentary that's going to be telling people stay away from the community, because that 30 to 40% of people, some of them are literally dangerous. My attorney nearly, was ran over and could have lost her life because of something that we believe involved with this community. I've had to do restraining orders. I've had people come to my house doing weird things. We've had death threats. We've had, it is just unbelievable what we've experienced. And after a lot of these lawsuits start to wind down and the information comes out about the details of what we've been through, my family, I think people are going to be shocked. And hopefully that can be used as an opportunity for the community to fix itself. But the 60% of love and light people who have good hearts won't do anything about the 30 or 40% of people who are screwing everything up. They're just like, oh, that's their experience, or, and it just continues, or, people, a lot of people in this community are getting stolen from, extorted, all sorts of criminal behaviors happening. And it's going to continue to happen because most of us are in the community are pacifists. And these predators come in, dress in sheep's clothing, and fleece the community. The community, I know a big name in the community who has been extorted several times, blackmailed. This person that he worked with, did videos with, threatened to kill him if he didn't give him near $100,000, and he did. I mean, these people just keep, they don't fight back and they don't put up boundaries. So this type of stuff just perpetuates. And hopefully the community can find a way to start putting up boundaries. And yes, doing lawsuits or calling police, doing restraining orders, what you need to do to set up boundaries. Otherwise, this cycle that's going on in the community is going to continue.
Yeah, that's insane. When I told you that it's a global phenomenon, it is. But I think what you're telling us is that's another level, right? That's the people are just going over what it seemed just bad mouthing, stalking, and that's just serious crime that they are doing. It's not just bad mouthing and talking bad things on your back, but it's like stalking, extortion, and things like serious crimes, right?
Death threats. There have been actual, and we've heard here and there a lot of these secret space program events. These people do drugs, they drink, and they party, and sexual exploits happen. And there's been a few things I've heard here and there that have been covered up. And it's just, eventually they're not going to be able to quiet these people, and they're going to get sued. And all of it's all coming to a head, and a lot of the bad actors and LARPs and fakes are creating an environment that's really not sustainable, and it further puts a black eye on the SSP information and this community in general.
Yeah, but that's good that you're just coming out of it, and you're not inserted on that community anymore and doing your own thing. And if people just consume your products, like the movie and the documentary and TV shows as science fiction, that's okay. As you said, it's on their subconscious. I have an example here. I launched a book. Unfortunately, it's just in Portuguese, but I will translate definitely that book to English. It's well, on a free translation. It's the Human Manual, the name of the book, but it's like it's written as the idea is to have a manual to be a human on Earth, but that's just the idea. But the story is completely 100% fiction, but based on ascension theories and concepts. It's like a soul that comes from Maldak to Earth to experience here, and then he has to come back and do the ascension process here on Earth from various incarnations. So I wrote it's 100% fiction, but it's based on some ascension concepts, and people just love it. I put it for free on the website. It's for free. I'm not selling the book. And people just they get crazy when they read, because it's you get involved in the story. It's not like my first book. It's the answer for everything. It's just it's very it's like a school book. It's like a study book. So you have to study like the science, and you have to study some other things, and this book is 100% fiction. And people just got involved, and I tell people you can read it as a science fiction, no problem. Like SOS, they're taking us. You can read it as a science fiction. It's an entertaining book. You're going to people, when they start reading, they just can't finish it. It's just you see it one time and you're going to read the whole book, because it's you have the illustrations that they are just crazy. There's amazing illustrations. Yeah, that's wow. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. So you read a book from cover to back. You can read it as a science fiction. No matter. No, it doesn't matter. The thing is, the concepts, they're going to be on a subconscious. So that's what I'm aiming for, right? And that's what you're doing with the gaming industry, entertainment industry. Yeah, it's just crazy. Tiago is the illustrator, and the guy is just
it's really
talent.
He could work in doing your visual novels if you do them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. And I know what makes me what's crazy in our stories, like when we are telling a story and people are reading as a science fiction, like SOS, but it isn't. SOS, it's not science fiction. That's my life story. That's Lyle's life story. And when you do things related to the SSP, and your story is not 100% science fiction, it's your story. So it makes more realistic. I'm not sure if I'm giving the right message, but that's what I'm saying. When you watch a 100% science fiction movie, you can if it's a good writer, you can relate to that. But many times you watch those movies and say, that's not, no, I'm not buying it. But this is based on a true story, so that's what makes it more interesting.
Some of your personal experiences are in this book, or
yeah, mine and Lyle, yeah. Both of us. We didn't intend to write like Fabio and Lyle on the book, so people would identify, oh, this is Fabio, this is Lyle. So we just merge our experiences in one character, and people don't know if it's me or him, like a strategy, right? So it's more interesting for us at this moment not to reveal what is me, what is him, but it's based on our life story.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So there's been a lot of information and disinformation going around in the community for the last couple of years. One of the big ones was that the great aliens had been defeated and kicked out of our solar system, and that abductions were no longer occurring. And when all of that crap was coming out, it's not true, I was being contacted by so many abductees that are saying this, it's happening more, it's picking up, it hasn't stopped, it's not slowing down, you know. And have you know, is it picking up, or has it gone away? What is it, your experience and the people that you know who have had abduction experiences, what is the status?
Yeah, we have the same experience. Like it is picking up. It's definitely not stopped. I'm 100% sure. We since we launched SOS first in Portuguese, then in English, people are writing to us as crazy with their experience, and it's not like just childhood experiences, just like last month's experience, so last week's experience, like last night experiences. And we are receiving more and more emails each day about those experiences, and we just relate to them so much because it's what we've been through. Like, I can tell a story. I cannot tell 100% what is happening with me and Lael, but I can tell a story that we were abducted together last June last year.
That the story you told me, it was like a month after it happened when we met?
Yeah, that's the story I told you in person. Yeah. It's just a horrible story, and we got abducted 2 nights in a row by the grace, and the first night I completely black out. I just remember that I was taking like the next day or so. I could have memories of that, but Lyle remember almost everything, and we were just in panic. And the other night, we were just in the middle of nowhere, right? We were on the countryside of Brazil, and in a beautiful place, like within nature, and was this cabana, right? We're just the two of us, and like we got terrified.
Yeah, it's like a cabin, right?
A cabin, yeah, cabin, yeah. And we were just terrified, and we just asked our hierarchy, and we just talked to our friends, as let's say this way, and what's going on, and they send us some messages. But on the second night, that I remember, fortunately, and when we came back, it was crazy. One of us, I'm not saying who is who, but one of us just got dropped on the bed, like from 3 meters, poof, just dropped on the bed, and the other one outside, and it was like 35 degrees Fahrenheit outside. It was really cold, really cold, and naked. So one of us was naked outside, just with a gel or something. It looked like alcohol gel, you know, the one that you washed your hands. With a really I don't know, strange smell, and it was like on a fetus position and couldn't move. It was like a bit like electricity on his body. Let me put it in a third person, on his body, and then one rescued him and put inside, and we just turned the fireplace on, and it was just crazy. And when we looked to the bed, the clothes were there, like someone just vanished. It's not took off the clothes. It was like the underwear, and then the pants, and then just one inside the other, and it was just a crazy experience, So it was. I remember
when you came to visit me, like you said, it happened like a month or two.
Yeah, it was very recent. Yeah,
the look in your eye and in your face, I mean, you still have some of it now.
Yeah,
but you were horrified when you were recounting, that story to me, and it was very visceral.
Yeah, it was very traumatic, because it was people who've been through it probably understand me. It's like it was so real because we could remember almost everything, because on the majority of times, like, I don't know, maybe 70, 80, 90%, I don't know, we just don't remember anything, or just remember some it's like a bad dream, or you just see something passing rapidly, or no, but we could remember everything. We remember inside the ship what they are doing to us, and then we got rescued. We got rescued on the second night. So we talked to our friends the night before, and they rescued us on the second night, and then they told us why they let us being abducted. And that's another story, but just to make a long story short, they just took one of them. One of them was just to be in prison, and we were just bait. I know that's not a good thing to say, but that's how I define it. That's another word for that. We were bait.
I've been bait more than once, so. In different situations, that's just how they work.
Yeah,
we're all pieces to them.
Yeah, so we were bait, but
so without getting into any horrible details, are there any details in this book about the ships, the examinations, the information that you gleaned in this process that you would want to share?
Yes, we definitely tell a lot of stories in this book. We tell some hybridization stories, how they do the hybrids. So they abduct women and men and take the genetic code from both, and they do some horrible things, like they women with those. Sometimes they are just they go to the doctor, and the doctor said, so you got you're not pregnant, you got the psychological pregnancy. I don't know the technical name, but it's not true. They were pregnant to the third month, for instance, and then the baby just vanished. And they have the proof that they did the ultrasound, they did some exams, and the woman was pregnant, and it just vanished on the third month. So we have a lot of these cases. We talk about one of them on the book, one that happened with us. We were a victim of this hybridization, and we talk about that on the book, and how they did that, and how they replaced the fetus at some point with one of them. So they took the human baby and placed another one of them for a couple of weeks, and then we were told that that's to gather DNA information. Not sure, and they just took everything out, and then the mother just lost the baby, and it's just
second. That's how a baby gets its immune system. It gets it from the mother when it's in the womb, and a lot of other things like that happens. So maybe to acclimate them to some of the viruses and diseases that they would have to deal with interacting with humans, maybe that is one of the benefits of why they do it. It's to help them build that immune system, and to maybe gather other genetic traits in the process.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And sometimes we heard and we saw, sometimes they after the baby is born, they do not intend to put the parents together with the babies anymore. So they separate them usually. but we saw that sometimes they breastfeed the baby with the real mother, and I believe it's related to what you're talking about, the diseases and stuff, right?
Yeah, same reasons, I would believe.
Yeah, so it's
also one of the things that failure to thrive in babies. One of the things that I heard early on is that the gray ETs didn't understand why a lot of their hybrids were dying, and they needed those hybrid babies needed to be held by the mother, and every once in a while they would bring the mothers back to visit them and hold them and hug them.
Yes.
And that's when they started doing that. That's when they started having successful hybrid batches, I guess you would say. But
Yes.
A lot of these hybrid infants were dying from failure to thrive, or they were getting sociopathic kind of. They weren't blending well
Yep.
with our society.
Yeah, it makes sense. And the book instead of course it's called SOS They're Taking Us, and it has the abduction as the main point, but there's a story on the back that it's the story of humanity. It's the story why they're still here. It was your late question, like is this ramping up? Are they still here? And that's the answer. Of course, they're still here. They still have the problem that they're trying to solve. So they have a breeding problem. They cannot replicate anymore. So they're studying us. They're studying the DNA. They're doing the hybrids so they can fix their bodies. So they didn't achieve that yet. So they are here. They are ramping up because we are at the end of a cycle, right? And they have to ramp up. They are just crazy to do that before the end of the cycle. So I'm not seeing how this is not happening. I'm not sure if people who control the narrative is just spreading that it's not happening, so people don't freak out. That's just the reason that I can imagine, but I don't care. People have to know that.
Yeah, I can't imagine either. I mean, one of the biggest things that I think most in the community who follow ufology don't realize is that the disclosure movement itself was created by people from the Rockefeller Initiative. Yep. So the Rockefellers brought in people to become influencers in the ufology field, and in doing so control disclosure, what comes out, what narrative is gets attention. So the disclosure community, going back to Stephen Greer, Linda Moulton Howe, all of those old time people, they've been here to control disclosure, not bring it. That's my opinion from everything that I've seen and been told. But the disclosure movement itself is a highly controlled movement. And for you to get your information seen on a large scale, it can be very difficult. And I know you've gone through some of that. But yeah, it's a crazy field.
Yeah, it is. It is very difficult to talk about those things. And when we talk about abductions, talking about the book and everything that we've been through since we launched the book early this year, is a lot of people from the UFO community in Brazil, in Portugal, came to us, and most of them, they don't believe what it's in there. They believe that they are all positive, that they're just here to help us, and I don't know.
That's the most dangerous narrative of all. You know, there are people out there that are like, oh, I can't hear the bad stuff, the evil stuff. Let's just talk about the good stuff and we'll manifest it. Well,
Yeah.
that type of thinking and zero discernment is what has caused the majority of ufology to be tricked by these tricksters, these blonde-haired, blue-eyed ET tricksters who have been presenting themselves as angels and enlightened ETs for thousands of years to us and manipulating us in our religions. And when they do introduce themselves en masse to us, a good part of the UFO community, instead of saying, are these good guys or bad? What should I think of these guys? They're going to be like, the angels, the blue hair, the ones that we've been hearing about, they're here, you know, and there's just, humans are so programmed in that way. And the ufology fringe fields have really adapted these blonde-haired, blue-eyed savior ETs that are going to come down and save us from ourselves. And it's really dominating the field right now. It is dangerous. It causes people not to do the inner work, not to fight for freedom, because you know, it's already coming. Someone's going to come and do it for us and save us. So why should we get out on the streets and protest? Why should we push back on this or that? Why should we do all the work to change ourselves into being better people? It's all going to be done for us. And we give away our sovereignty and we give away our positive future timeline in the process.
Yeah, we definitely should co-create a positive timeline, but it's not by denying what's happening. So what I try to explain to people when they question me is like, oh, is this race good or bad? And then I return the question, is humanity good or bad? So you cannot put a label on a whole race of good and bad. They have good, they have bad. And then our next question, if humanity is going to another planet, who is going? Is it the good? Is it the bad? Is it the scientists? Is it the religious? Who is going to another planet? So just think about it. And a third question is, people are just, why do they let us do that to ourselves, like abductions and other stuff? And then I gave back the questions like, how are we allowed to test like cosmetics on rabbits? How are we allowed to test some pills on rats and some other animals? So that's how this gray see us. I heard from one of them say, "You primates, you're nothing." I heard personally from one of them. I heard mentally. It's not. Of course, it's mentally. You primates, you're nothing. It's just you're nothing to us.
Well, the biggest thing that I hear is that humanity cannot decide that we have 1 foot in the animal kingdom and 1 foot in the civilized ascending world. And we can't decide, we can't make up our mind.
Yeah.
So we're keeping our animal nature and animal type behavior at the same time that we're trying to grow and we have all these high ideas. And it's part of the human condition. And a lot of these beings, what they've told me is that, you know, they're not going to come down and stand face to face with any of us. We're too unpredictable. Human beings are all in a spectrum of insanity compared to them. They see this planet as an insane asylum, basically. Third world insane asylum.
It makes a lot of sense.
And that's pretty much what it is. And one of the big agreements is that third density planets like this are supposed to be schools. They're supposed to be shitty. They're supposed to be horrible. You know, this is where you come to learn lifetime after lifetime of lesson before you move on to the higher density planes and planets. You know, it's, you know, people, I don't hear people asking the root religion, well, why would God create this planet and all of these wonderful animals and beautiful nature and put these compromised freaking two-legged beings on it and say, you know, take care of this place for me? You know, why would a God that's creating all of these beautiful, perfect things that work in harmony create something like us if it wasn't to disrupt the harmony and to bring in imbalance and to learn from it? So, you know, planets like ours, unfortunately, are schools that are performing their function. And over time, as more and more people evolve and change, I think the schools change as well. And I think that our school is we're about to hopefully graduate to a different school, but it's going to be on this planet. And, you know, I don't know. I guess that's the end of my rant.
Yeah, it is important to know our history and to know how we came to being that way, and what is behind the narrative of the SOS they're taking us. Is just that it's one of the many stories so we can realize how we came to the point that we are, and how humans were created, why they were created, why they are messing with the DNA. It's just one of the stories, because the reason that we are abducted is that there are so many reasons, and you know better than I do. It's not just aliens that are abducting us. So it gets tricky. So we have humans abducting humans, and then it just gets darker and darker. But we are telling in this book just one of the many stories of abductions, and why they abduct us, and why they mess with our DNA, and why this is ramping up. It's not stopping anytime soon.
And I agree. And one of the number one things that I've spoken with people in the programs and just in this community about people who are being abducted, how to make it stop. You know, can God make it stop? Can praying to this make it stop? Can putting this in the window make it stop?
Yep.
One of the things that's been consistent is nothing can make it stop.
Yes.
Nothing can make it stop. And that's sad. I wish I could report to somebody that, oh, if you just do this, and 3 Hail Marys and, you know, take an enema, you'll never be abducted again. It's not, you know, I think it's not like that.
Yeah.
Now, as someone who has had these experiences, I am contacted quite often with people asking, saying, I have these experiences, what should I do? When you realized you were having these experiences, how did you come to terms with it? And how are you dealing with it? And what would you recommend to other people who are realizing that they are going through these things? And what can they do to get on the path of understanding it more?
Yeah, this is, as you said, this is a very difficult question, and even more difficult answer to give people, because it's so personal. The experience is so personal. How you react to that is so personal. So I believe that people, as you said, it's I don't know a way to make it stop, but we can make it difficult. We can make it more difficult. When we raise our consciousness, we raise our vibration, we do our inner work, and we protect our house, we protect ourselves in so many ways. We are not stopping it, but we are making it difficult, and we are making it easier for our hierarchy sometimes to make it not happen at that time, if you know what I mean. So I've been out of some abductions this way. So people need to seek help if they are mentally taken by it. They need to seek psychological help, and if you need medication, if you need, I don't know, you just go to a therapist, just go to the doctor. Not sure if it has some physical things with you, just take care of your physical, and just study, just go for information and to see how this happened, why it's happening, and talk to other people who have been through this. So this is what I did. I have the lucky, if I may say that I have my dear good friend Lyle having this experience with me since we were kids. So we talk very much to each other because we go to the same place, we are abducted together. But I believe this is tougher with people that are just alone, and their family have no idea this has happened, and if they talk to the family, they are going just to be labeled crazy, and that's it. So this is very difficult. People definitely should seek help, should seek people that are going through the same thing to figure out what they can do. But basically, it's the same, Corey, I believe. I'm not sure about your thoughts, but I believe this is the same answer to everyone. Just take care of your body, take care of your house, your family, raise your consciousness, study, and go seek information so you can make it harder to happen.
You know, I've found a lot of peace in life once I realized that, really realized there are only certain things that I can control. And if I focus on the things that I can control and I make them the strongest tent poles in my life, most of the other things kind of not necessarily fall off in the periphery, but it keeps you focused on what is important. And it also helps you to keep things stable and running. You know, people, when you're going through abductions and these types of things, it affects you psychologically. Some people, it can put them in bed for days, you know, yes. Freaking out. But allowing yourself to be more focused on the things that you can control gives you some of the power back in your life. And I think that is a little caveat that I would add to what you said.
Yeah, that's great. And one of the goals of the book is for people to please stop asking to be abducted. This is just insane. You're open a door that you're not supposed to open, and you probably would never be abducted, and then you go there and just ask to be abducted, and from that point on you're going to be abducted. But people just don't realize what they do to people when they are abducted. It's not everyone that comes alive in one piece.
Into it and their children into a program of being abducted. Yeah, be very careful what you ask for. A lot of people feel so alone, helpless, and small that they want an experience, they want a validation. Just be very careful what you ask for. These abductions, this is not just a physical phenomenon. Yeah. These beings are multidimensional, and to us, they see us, body, mind, and spirit. They see us as a layered being, and they do abduct us physically, put in physical implants. But also, they're very involved with our spiritual evolution or non-evolution. They're very responsible for that, and they are also doing their program also crosses over into the world of after people die, you know, people's spirits and that type of thing. So, you know, if your religion tells you that these things are devils and demons, you're not far off. That's where devils and demons come from. You know, that notion. This type of thing has been happening to people for thousands of years, and they just didn't have the vernacular or words to describe it in the way we do now. So this has been going on for a long time, and the information I have is that it's going to go on right up till the end of the cycle, and it's only going to increase.
Yes, definitely. 100%. And if you're not abducted, or if you don't remember, just keep it that way. Yeah. Don't go after remembering it, or don't go after being abducted, asking to be abducted, or doing regression to see if you were abducted. Please, if I can give you one advice, don't do that. If you're not being abducted, thank God. If you don't remember, thank God. It's the same. So please don't look for it.
It's a horrific can of worms to open, especially if you start going to regression, because you're reliving it, and you know, it can. The memories are taken away from you for a reason, because of the PTSD and trauma that it causes. And you can have a little bit of a PTSD with not knowing why. That's why some people seek this type of regression therapy, because if you've had a pretty good life and your behavior and things, you're being diagnosed with like PTSD when you've never really had any of that type of trauma, and you're exploring, trying to heal yourself, exploring, you know, you can find that maybe some of that comes from an abduction. But like you said, if you open up that can of worms, it's going to rip open a lot of old wounds.
Yeah,
so,
or just be careful, right? If you go to get in a place that you have a stable life, you have like you just don't understand just one problem that you have, and then you find a good therapist who knows what to do and have the right knowledge. That is a tricky thing as well. But if you find one, so just go for it, but knowing what you're going to open that. So knowing what you probably will go through. It's not easy. It's something complicated. We're just releasing that information for several reasons, but one of the reasons, as you said, is that one of the main goals of the book is, please stop asking to be abducted. That's one thing. The second thing, it's not stopping. It's happening more and more. Don't believe the narrative that it's not happening. So that's the two main things. The reason why we wrote this book, and also to be a first step to tell other things. And to tell people how why they are doing that, the DNA thing, and trying to solve their problem on replication and some other things. But two main things: don't ask to be abducted, and this is not stopping. This is happening more and more.
Yeah, you know, I couldn't agree more. I've heard this from many people. That, you know, that the abductions are ramping up and still happening. I've got to go here soon. Where can people find your book?
Any Amazon in the world. So if you're in the US, Amazon.com. If you're in France, Amazon.fr. If you're in Japan, Amazon.jp. So every Amazon in the world, you can find the book.
And what websites do you have? I know you have your own little kind of platform you're building up, like we are. So, you know, people who are Portuguese speakers, a lot of people watch my information, and they may be very interested in what you have going on.
Our channel in Portuguese is Educação Consciencial. So the website is educaçãoconsciencial.com.br. And in English is Ascension Wisdom. So it's ascensionwisdom.com.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, and if anyone wants to follow my information, the graphic novels and books are mainly morphing into video games now. So the visual novels and the video games and the films, you can find out more at disclosurecomics.com. You can also follow me on LinkedIn under Corey Good. I post a lot of information about what I'm doing. And of course, ascensionworks.tv, that's where we're doing the majority of our work, and we're sharing other people's work from the community. And it's a really great place to hang out and chat with people. We have our own social media there as well.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's the first I'm not sure if it's the only disclosure social media, if I may call that. It's very interesting, very good initiative.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's really picking up. The site is growing, and Mike has been working really hard, and he's got a new little boy. Him and Elizabeth do, so he's had his hands full recently.
Yeah,
his hands full, and I'm also going to drag him into working on some of this video game stuff soon.
Nice. It's good to have a lot of work, and if it's disclosure work, even better. So we are definitely looking forward to seeing all those projects come into life and to hit the mass consciousness, because we definitely need it.
We definitely do. The negative. The bad guys set up disclosure to control disclosure. The bad guys also set up the entertainment industry and media in general to control people. If we can use those same tools to open people's minds and awaken them and send them on a different path, then that's mission accomplished.
Perfect. So Corey, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, I look forward to chatting with you again soon.